What if someone told you you had to run 100 miles next week? What would you say? That's over 400 laps around the track and almost 4 marathons combined, and that's sort of what I did last week. Well, last week for the first time ever, I ran 100 miles in just a week, and I do have to say it was a lot of running in just a week, considering it's over 14.2 miles a day for 7 days straight, and yeah, overall just a ton of running. And so in this video, as me being a runner, I just sort of wanted to do my breakdown, saying how I felt and how my progression went for this 100-mile week, from jumped up my 50 miles a week, which is my previous most mileage in a week is 80 miles, which is most definitely a lot, but 100 miles in a week is quite the step up from there. Alright, but before I dive more in depth on each day of the week, I just want to say how much mileage I ran each day. I did 15 miles on Monday, 8 miles on Tuesday, 30 miles on Wednesday, which including a marathon, which is heck-ing a lot of running for just one day, almost 16 miles on Thursday, 15 miles on Friday, 10 miles on Saturday, and 5 miles on Sunday, which, yeah, that's a lot of running. 30 miles in just a day. That's insane. But starting down the breakdown, on Monday morning I just woke up and ran an easy 10-mile jog at around 7:45 pace. Definitely not anything fast because I hadn't ran the weekend prior and was just trying to get back into the rhythm of things, of running and all. And then I did a mile cool down, a little bit slower than that, which wasn't too bad. 11 miles in the first morning of Monday, and then later that day actually I went out to the track because I saw it was open, and this is where it gets insane. I decided I was gonna run a 5K when I saw the track was freaking open. But yeah, when I saw the track was open, I was like, holy crap, we're gonna make the most of this. The track isn't open every day, and today's the day it's open, so I'm gonna bolt these freaking 5 miles. I was gonna do 5 miles, but in the end I ended up doing 3 because I did the 3 just a little bit faster than I may have intended. I did the 3 miles at 1650 pace for a 5K. That's 5:28 minutes a mile, which was pretty fast. This is still before I even planned I was gonna run 100 miles this week, so this puts me at like 15.5 miles on Monday. Still no intentions on running 100 miles this week, and so that 15.5 miles puts a ring on Monday. And so moving on to Tuesday, definitely not anything insane. I just ran 8 miles, which was definitely a down day. This was, again, before I planned on running 100 miles this week, and I just did 8 miles. Pretty easy 8 miles, nothing fast. But then Wednesday rolls around. I just roll out of bed in the morning at around 7 a.m. or whatever, and plan to run like 6 or 7 miles. No biggie, not too much miles. I'm well on my track to hitting 50 miles for the week, my usual running distance goal, but 80 from 100, or like 80 was a few months ago, but 100 miles in a week, that's a crazy amount of running in just a week. And so anyways, I'm thinking to myself at 3 miles, what if I ran 100 miles this week? I bump up that 3 miles that I'm at to around 10 miles because I'm like, that might put me on track. And then I'm like, no, 15. I'm gonna do 15 miles in just one run because that's my most I've ever ran in a single run. 20 miles is close to a marathon, so I'm gonna run 26 miles in just this one run. That's freaking marathon. I've never ran a marathon. This will be fun. I'm all in for 3 hours, not too much. This can't be that bad. And so I'm like 30 minutes into the run, nothing's too much hurting. And then eventually I'm like an hour and a half in, hour 40 minutes, let's say. So I've been running for about an hour and 40 minutes at this point, which is around 14 miles, which is pretty insane. Like 7:30 pace for a marathon. I might actually do this. That's insane. Like, I've never ran a marathon, and yeah, this is honestly not that bad because the most I've ever ran in a single distance is 15 miles, and I'm about to hit that. Like 2 hours at the marathon hits. Okay, this is manageable. I can do this. That's what I'm thinking to myself. We can move on. We've got this. Keep running, keep running. I'm at 20 miles. This is when they say the wall hits. Like, you're about to pass out. You don't know if you can run anymore. Like, it's like you're done. You might fall, whatever. You might have to stop. And this is when it really starts to get hard for the marathon. I've been running for about 2.5 hours at this point, which is a insane amount of running for just one straight run without stopping. I got water once, which was at the halfway point, but that's literally it. And so I kept running, and then there's like 3 miles left, and I'm like, okay, at this point my legs are like jelly. It's like the last 100 meters in the 400 meter race, if you know what I mean. And this isn't even possible. Like, I don't think I can do this. But anyways, keep going. We have a mile left. Okay, this is it. At this point I feel like I've made it, and so I just run the last mile. Legs feel pretty fine. This is after the run, they felt extremely tight, but we'd done it. 3 hours, 20 minutes for a marathon, first ever marathon. That's not too bad, like, honestly. and in a 100-mile week, hands down. That's a good time for a marathon for me personally. But anyhow, how I felt after running that marathon is I felt really stiff. Like, well, my legs were extremely tight, and they kept continuing on getting tighter for the rest of the 100-mile week, which I'll get more into later. But that's honestly how I felt. So with that, I just did another 4 miles that day, making it 30 miles on the day. But anyhow, moving on to day 4. Day 4, how much did I run? I ran 16 miles on day 4, being Thursday, which is a lot of running. I think I did 10 miles and then 5 miles later that day, which is definitely a lot of running for just one day, and after running a marathon more specifically. And my feet, they've definitely been through a lot at this point. Like, I've been just going, and it's not gonna stop, and so it doesn't. And then the 5th day of the week, I'm like, okay, we're gonna hit 100 miles this week. So I move on, I do another 15 miles in just one day, which is like, I ran twice that day, I think. I did 10 miles and another 5 miles, which is an absolutely insane amount. 15 miles again in another day for like the whatever, 3rd day and 4th day of the week, 15 plus miles. And after that 30-day mile, 2 days after, it was just like my legs were getting tight as hell. 70 miles for the week is around the first time like the back of my foot started hurting, and so some of the time like I'd run like sort of, this is my foot pretend, this is my heel and whatnot, and then these are my toes, and I just run sort of on my toes for like this, if that makes any sense, for like one of my feet, and it just give my calf an extreme workout, making it a lot tighter than it previously was. And yeah, that was the recap for mile 70, and it wasn't too bad. I was pretty fine, and yeah, I was pretty fine. But moving on, here we are on Saturday, day 6 of the week. Come on, we're so close. And so day 6, I run 10 miles. I run 5 miles 2 times. Literally every run this week, besides that 5K on Monday, was extremely slow. Like, everything was 7:45, 8-minute pace, no faster than that. Anything faster would have killed me probably. And yeah, so this is how the week went. And I did 10 miles on whatever, Saturday and then Sunday. Okay, it's the last day of the week. We got 5 miles to go. 5 miles, okay. And I've been thinking about this literally all day. Like, I was even considering about hitting 115 miles for the week. Definitely a lot of runnings, and I decided that would have been an extremely bad idea, even though 100 miles is already a pretty bad idea. We've got 5 miles to go, so I go out, I run 4 of these miles, and for the last mile, I'm gonna do this all-out mile, because someone did this, an all-out mile for the last mile of their 100-mile journey, or accomplishment, or whatever, and they got 6:10 for the all-out mile. Me, I did it in around 5:35. I'm pretty prone to injuries, I feel like, which is definitely why I could do this pretty fast, and my legs were just tight versus any other pain throughout my body. And yeah, I ended up with a 5:35 mile, which is hands down not too bad. I'll take that. Mile 100. 100 miles is complete, and I'm like, let's go. 100 miles for the hecking week. Here we go. 100 miles for the week. 12 hours, 45 minutes, and almost 3,000 feet elevation gain. That's awesome. That's actually awesome. And so I'd finished on the track, and I was like, yes, let's go. Let's go. We got it. 100 miles for the week, boys. And yeah, we're on the road. We're on the track to hitting 21 miles for the year 2021, which I sort of want to hit. It's a cool number, I guess, and that's the year. So yeah, that's what we're running for the year. 2,000 miles. And yeah, that's my 100-mile week. Felt pretty good. Legs are extremely tight. Definitely need to roll them, which I haven't done yet. And I only stretch like half the time after I finish running. Need to work on that, but yeah, pretty solid week, and definitely good for adding the mileage in. But recap is I definitely sort of paced myself. Running 61 miles in just a span of 3 days, being the 3rd, 4th, and 5th day was a little bit much, but that definitely put me on track to hitting my 100-mile goal for the week, which hecking insane. Like, let's go. That's awesome. 61 miles in a span of 72 hours. Yeah, that was awesome. Legs are still extremely tight. Like, I don't know if you can see this, but there's like, you can't even push down on them. Like, this is how my legs feel right now. Like, they're so tight, but it's pretty nice. It feels pretty good. And yeah, new week tomorrow. Let's see what goes down. Only 50 miles. Immediately dropping down to 50 next week, and obviously, so I don't injure myself, like, whatever. And yeah, that was an exciting 100-mile week, and my first one ever, so I was like, might as well document it. And yeah, thanks for watching. See you in the next video. If you have any more running video ideas, I'll definitely make them. And yeah, see you on the next video. Thanks for watching, and peace.